All right, Crank It Up, Turn It Down. The first-time play-alongs that Drumeo has been putting out, where this is the first time this artist has ever heard this song, and they do a play-along with a drumless track. Crank It Up, Turn It Down. You dig it, crank it up. You don't, turn it down.
I'll crank it up. I enjoy him. I like him.
Turn it down.
Don't like it?
Don't hate it, but I don't know. It's a weird thing to me. You know, you've got these people, these legends in there, and so many places to go with them. And he does do cool stuff with the interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
But then, like, hearing a song for the first time, I mean, I think, you know, I don't mean to sound like a negative Nelly, but it's got the pros that it has is somebody saying, okay, I haven't heard this before. Here's how I'm hearing it. So I think it's cool for younger players to
see the process.
But then to also get a different interpretation. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be this. So maybe I'm more in the middle of it, you know. But I don't need to see Stuart Copeland playing Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I just don't.
Yeah, was it a little disappointing? I did watch that, and I felt like underwhelmed with it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Well,
like he shouldn't be playing that. I don't know what it is, or like I'm scratching my head thinking like, you mean to tell me you've never heard this song? Like, I find that hard to believe too. Stuart Copeland has never heard this Limp Bizkit song.
No, I believe that. I
Really?
believe that.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of musicians that I know that have a lot of work, and or are deep into doing whatever their thing is, they don't listen to a lot of music.
Mike Portnoy just did one. It's a Taylor Swift song, and he's like, "I've never heard this in the world," and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm overall, I'll crank it up a little bit. I'm not gonna crank it up the whole way. Overall, I think it's a cool concept, and it's like definitely, it's a little too clickbaity for me.
Yeah,
a little bit too much. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, but like also, it's like as long as everyone's having fun, who cares? Like,
well, ultimately, that's it. It's entertaining, to people. So, and a lot of that. I mean, we could talk we could do a whole thing on the Instagram thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's plenty of great entertaining stuff, and it's just like, oh, that's really cool. But you know what? I've seen it already. I don't need to see that guy playing 1,000,000 miles a minute anymore. I don't need to see that guy looking really good and blowing big band chops anymore. Yeah. I'd rather see footage of them at a gig.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So
I think you know, this whole thing just started. It feels like where they take like Dennis Chambers and, you know, he plays a Tool song, and Chad Smith and he plays this song. So it feels like it's kind of run its course a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in a short amount of time too. Because at first I was very interested. Like they were like, tomorrow's the premiere. Dennis Chambers is going to play Tool. And I'm like, actually, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah. And then he does it, and you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I was kind of hyping myself up for a little bit. I was expecting something a little bit different. So now maybe it has jumped the shark a little bit. It is. I'm still going to crank it up.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a cool concept, but I think maybe very quickly it's overstayed its welcome.
That's the toughest thing about the social media thing is, you know, stuff is hot for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you're off to something else, and people forget things too. You know, I mean, remember the guy drinking cranberry juice to Fleetwood Mac on a skateboard? That lasted all of what, like a couple of weeks. Even Mick Fleetwood did it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, great. And now it's just like, you know, it's not even going to be a footnote in anything,
right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
it's tough.